You are now listening to the Garage Poppin' Family Chronicles podcast. Have a seat at the table and let's have a family discussion.
What's up, Garage Poppin' family? We are the Garage Poppin' Family Chronicles, and today we're going to talk about childhood trauma. I'm one of your hosts, Ashley.
I'm Tasia. And I'm Melissa.
So, this podcast is probably going to be really hard for all of us. I feel like we've all, had some childhood trauma, even though we're family. Some of our childhood trauma has been together, some of it has been separate, but I think that everyone has childhood trauma no matter what they say.
I think the major childhood trauma that I have that still affects me right now is the fact that I feel like I'm not good enough. I think that stems from doing my shadow work and stuff like that. It stems from, when I was in school, I was valedictorian and I made good grades, and my parents never asked for my work. They would just ask, see my report card, and be like, "Oh, okay, well, we expected that." That's what everybody said. And then if I say I want to be a nurse, they're like, "No, you're gonna be a doctor." Not my parents, but family. You're gonna be a doctor. I'm gonna be this. No, you're gonna be that. So it was like every time I did something, it's like I'm never good enough to for what I'm doing. I even though people give me compliments and say you're doing great in all this, I still look at it as like I could be doing better because of the fact that I was always told that you can do this or it's gonna be hard. So I've never just got that. You're good. So now when somebody says you're doing great, I know everything I've been through is something that a lot of people couldn't go through, and like it's traumatic, but I triumph. I still feel like, okay, well, I just did what I had to do to survive, and I'm still trying to figure out now how to be better, even though I've done the work. So that's some childhood trauma that I'm going through, and I have to learn that I'm okay.
Yeah,
I don't have to be what everybody wants me to be. I just gotta be happy.
definitely.
Yeah, that's my childhood
Asia,
trauma.
I'd like to slide in that you um
you are.
um so really my childhood trauma, I guess it just stemmed from being so emotional. I'm a very, very emotional being. I'm a big crybaby. And when I was younger, people kind of made it seem like it annoyed them. And it made me feel like super lame. Like it made me feel super corny. Because when I was younger, I realized, first of all, I'm going to cry first. And then even though we can fix it, I got to cry first to make myself feel better. But, my family is not like that. Like, I don't know where I got this from. And that's what they used to tell me all the time. I don't know where you got that from. I don't know where you got this crying from. I don't know why you always be crying. I don't know where you got that from. So now that I'm older, I can't stop the emotion but I
Keep
would
rolling.
rather be emotional when I know, you know what I'm saying, I'm feeling some type of way, or if I'm finna cry because I'm overwhelmed, I would rather deal with it on my own. Like it's, I feel like if I, how people call and try to vent, I just feel like that's like nobody wants to hear that. So I really just do it like when it's like I just feel like it's like super necessary that I feel like I just have to let it out. But other than that, I keep my emotions in
Did
my own space.
I know that I'm probably one of the people who look at her face, who probably made you feel like, what the hell are you crying for? You know what I mean? And that stems from my childhood trauma because I was called all kind of names when I was younger. Okay? Like names that you would never even think to call a child. All right? Listen, Sandy Joe's gone. I love you to death. I love her, but it was really hard. So, me growing up, I had to put on like a tough skin. You know what I mean? Like, if I didn't, I would be breaking down every day. So, I think that because Tasia always tells me all the time, like, you have no feelings. Like you're emotionless. And it's not that, it's just that because I feel like I was called so many names and I had to put on a face and I'm like, you know what? I don't give a say what you want. I don't care. I don't care. You're not gonna make me cry. You know what I mean? Like I had to be strong all the time. So now, like when Tasia comes to me and she's crying, and I'm like, girl, wipe your face. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Turn back around, do whatever it is you got to do, and keep it moving. And like that's what I had to do. Like I was never able to be like, okay, that hurts me. You know what I mean? Because I felt like I would be weak. Or it would be taken as, oh, I got her. You know what I mean? So let me keep this going. So I was always like, I don't care. I'll be a and I don't care. I don't care. So that's how I was. And that's how I still am today. Like if somebody says something, I'm like, I don't give. You know what I mean? And I just wipe.
And I love that about you.
I
I
know, but it's
I would like that. I would like to do that as well.
Looking at the society we're in now, especially with men, when they say that it's you shouldn't cry, you shouldn't this, you should hold your emotions in, you look like this. I don't feel like it's healthy to keep your emotions in. I feel like
it's
you should
not.
express yourself in however way that you want, because we have people in our family that have held in the things that they didn't want to say, and you just see as they get older and older and older how much anger is held
Yeah.
because of that. And a lot of the times I learn from my family when I'm trying to break these cycles of what I don't want to be, because you can look at your family and see what you'll be if you continue what you're doing, whether it's drinking, whether it's doing drugs, whether it's being angry or bitter. You can see where you'll go. So really, with the childhood traumas and break it with your emotions, I feel like you should continue to be as emotional as you want to be, and don't feel like you have to hold in who you are, because that will take a toll on you and your mental health.
Yeah.
Express yourself how you feel like you want to express yourself.
And she'll even tell me, she'll be like, you right. She'll be like, but I'm still gonna cry, but I'll be okay. You know
Like,
what I mean?
yeah, like I already know, like you
Get it
right.
out. Get it, go ahead, get it
I
out.
just gotta
But
get it
once
out.
you're
Yeah.
done crying, wipe your face and get the up. And I feel like I should probably be a little more understanding, but I don't know. Like, I feel like when someone is crying, to me, I feel like that means that someone got them. You know what I mean? Like, oh, now they're in your head. You know what I mean? And it's probably not even that. Like, I don't express emotion like I should. You know what I mean? Like, if someone gets me mad to the point where I'm crying, it's because I'm about to fight, not because you got me somewhere in my head and I'm just thinking, oh my God, she's right. No, it's not that. But I do feel like sometimes like I hold a lot of stuff in and then it'll be like a day where I'll just cry by myself and won't talk to anybody or say anything. And then, but you know what I do though? I will go in the bathroom afterwards and I'll be like, get your together.
Oh my God.
Get your together. I will wash my
Me
face,
too.
shower, and act like that didn't happen.
Oh my God. Me
Yeah.
too. That is my go-to. Me too. Me too. Even if I'm like in the car at work and I'm crying, once I'm done, I'm like, show ass, show ass,
Right.
show ass. Get
Like,
there. You want it? Yeah. Me too. Me
I'm like, you
too.
done? Like I literally talk to myself, you done?
Yeah.
Did you get it
Me
out?
too.
You feel better? All right, let's go. You got
I think to piggyback off Ashley, I agree with the having to have the hard exterior, because in this family, you got to have thick ass skin to be able to dish it and take it and not let it get to you. Um,
yeah.
I feel like if you can conquer the people in your family, then nobody on the outside of your family that doesn't know you well shouldn't get to you. And
Amen.
that's how I feel. Ain't
For
no
real.
coworker make me so upset to a point where I mean, you can't get me out of character, because if I could deal with the chaos that I deal with all the time, you can't.
Exactly. But I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I do get those days where I'm like, I feel so full. You know what I mean? How you just feel like, okay, this happened, that happened. I was fine with this, that. And then you get that last thing and you're like, you know what I mean? Like something else. And I will
You
let it out and snap back. And
you
that's
have
it.
to. You got to give
Mhm.
yourself enough time to process what you're going through, because if you don't process it and push it to the side, when something else does add on, then you
Yeah.
blow, and then it's like you're in a depression, a full out depression, and you're like, what's going on? You got to give yourself time to process, even if for you that's getting mad for a day and then looking in the mirror saying, get it together, but you have to process it. And that's what a lot of people don't do. A lot of people don't process their traumas, and they just weigh it to the side and act like it never happened. But then when you see that same situation occur in the future and it triggers you, then
Yeah.
it's up.
Yeah.
So you have to take time to process it.
Yeah. Cause I used to be a hothead. I did. Like stuff would trigger me. Like if somebody could say something to me now and I'd be like, "Shut," you know what I mean? And keep moving. But when I was younger, like in my 20s, if somebody said something to me, I always felt like, oh, you're not gonna get me. You know what I mean? Like, and I would always retaliate back, or oh, we finna fight, or this or that. You know what I mean? Like, I've come a long way from my 20s, definitely. Like, but I don't know.
I remember my dad gave me a book and he told me he was like, write down all the things that, you feel like happened with me and you that weren't cool, and then we'll come back and talk about it. But instead of me writing about him, I just started from the beginning of, you know, everything. And the earliest I got is from when we were in Hawaii, and that boy tried to lock me in the when he locked me in the gate, and like tried to sexually assault me when I was in like kindergarten, first grade, and me not understanding what the going on, and like his mom came and I hurried up and ran out of the thing, and like they were always like, we gotta talk about this, we gotta talk about this. And I'm like, he did this and he was lying about it. And he was like in fifth grade. So I went from there and just started writing about all that's happened to me, and it makes me understand why I am now. And now that I know, I gotta find a healthier way to figure. So I
Mm,
really am an advocate for writing down everything that you can think of.
Let
that's
me
rough.
just say, I think it's wild that you can remember something from 5, and I can't even tell you what I had on yesterday.
That was a big thing. That was very big for me.
Yeah.
I I try to let, well, I try not to let, I don't know. I do my best alone. Like I just try not to put what I have on others, if that makes sense. Because usually, you know what I'm saying, it really is an issue that can be fixed. It you know what I'm saying. It's just me being overwhelmed and not being prepared for whatever it is, and just needing to cry. Like,
Yeah.
I definitely have to work on trying to build up my emotions and just not let it be tears. Like I really want to work on it, because usually I already know like it's gonna be okay, but I just have to shed a tear.
But the fact
I
that you
just
think
love
it's
myself.
wrong
That's
that you
okay
have to shed a tear, yeah, it's okay.
though.
Like, you don't have to change
Yeah.
that.
But I hate it so much. Like that's like
But
probably the
that's who
only
you
thing that I
are.
hate about myself. Like,
That's
but
I
who
for
you
mean,
real,
just
are.
because you don't mean you don't have thick skin. You be throwing hot ones. Like, you got it. It's just the way that you process with yourself is crying, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I
Yeah.
don't want you to think that it is, because it's not.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? So when I did decide to move, I was in one of those situations where everything, like I had the final straw. You know what I mean? And I was depressed and I couldn't get out of it. And yeah, every day I would still be like, look what you're doing to your children. Like, stop this. You know what I mean? Like I would be talking to myself like, stop this, like get out. And I could not get out of it. So I was like, the only way I'm gonna have to change, I need to change the scenery. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't get out of that depressed mood that I was in. And I was like, I don't know what else to do, but like, I'm like this close from taking the seatbelt off and going over the bridge. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, listen, the same thought keeps, I have to do something. I have to do something. Like, I had so much from family to jobs to, like, it was just too much for me, and I couldn't get out of it. And so I was like, well, I'm going to change my scenery. Like, I have to do something, very much something, very much something before I did the wrong thing. You know what I mean? So, and what's bad is I still didn't talk to anybody about it. And I probably should have, but I just feel like, to me, that shows weakness. Like, I can't, I don't know.
I
I don't
feel
know.
like, in the words of O.C. Horton, every problem you have has two legs, two arms, like 2 legs, 2 feet, and a head. And if you can't figure it out who it is, then it's you. And that's what he told me. And
I love that.
I love
the
that too.
thing,
I love that.
the
Love
thing
him.
is, you have to realize that everybody is going through something. And it's not just you. It's just some people know how to hide what they're going through better than others.
Yeah.
And just because I feel like when somebody tells you, not saying you actually, but when somebody tells you you shouldn't be doing this and you can't do that, and I feel like sometimes that's a projection of how they feel about themselves, and they project that off onto you. Like, even with this podcast, people would say, I've heard people say that, I'm not listening to it, it's not my thing, this and that. But you know it's a projection. People don't want you to be great. And I got off topic with that, but what I'm saying is everybody got a problem, because that pissed me off because it's in my head. But everybody has problems, and some people know how to hide it better than others. And if I go to the store and the cashier got an attitude, I ain't never met you before, well, I'm gonna sit up here and snap off back with this person. I mean, I may if they get there, but I don't know what they just went through. It's somebody that mama probably just died, or they probably just lost a whole bunch of money, and I'm making it worse by getting an attitude too. Everybody going through something. So you just gotta look at it like that and worry about yourself.
Worry about yourself. Worry
Mhm.
about yourself.
Piggybacking off that, I
Mhm.
think that low key is where my little independence issue came from. Watch that podcast. Um, because like you said, everyone's going through something, so you can't really set your life around depending on someone else. You know what I'm saying? So I try so hard to be okay. Like, I try so hard to keep it together so I don't have to
Yeah.
depend on someone else, because like mom said, she was going through a lot and she wasn't saying to nobody. She wasn't saying nothing to nobody. She was just,
Wow.
me, mad as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? And when she left, it just made me feel, like a little abandoned. Gave me a tad bit of abandonment issues. It just made me feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mother just up and left. She was pissed for like a year, and then she up and left. And it was just a lot for
Yeah.
me for a minute.
And
So now
I'm gonna be apologizing for that for the rest of my life. Like
it's okay
that.
because I love you.
I
But
know.
yeah, so now I, that wasn't really, well, I guess you could say it was my childhood, but that's really something that, like, but I guess it's kind of a good thing because it's like I don't need nobody. I don't need niggas. I want to make sure that I'm straight at all times, so I don't ever have to, you know what I'm saying, depend on someone else. Because even after mom moved and I was with people who I thought were like my family, and they were not. And then I went through, you know what I'm saying, that stuff with them. Like, I'm just, my mom's gone, and the other woman who was like my mom, she's gone, and my friend, like, it was just a lot to go through alone. Ooh, I'm finna cry. Sorry.
And you
I
gotta
knew
think
I was
about,
gonna be the first one to do it.
some people were raised off survival, and some people were raised off love. And dealing with somebody who's raised off survival is hard because they don't have that love in their life, and they're cold hearted, and they don't have their emotions turned on. So you gotta know how to walk around people like that. I
Yeah.
know Eric was. raised on. I mean, he had love, but he was raised on more of survival. So me trying to understand where he's coming from, that could be hard at times because I didn't grow up like that. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, everybody goes through something, and you have to sit up here and you have to face what you're going through head on, in order to better yourself and your children.
I feel like the best thing that you can do is take whatever it is in, you know what I mean, process it, and then tear that you know what I mean?
I feel like if you got that confidence in yourself, then can't nobody tell you nothing. But then again,
Mhm.
that confidence comes with knowing yourself and your flaws and everything you've been
Yeah.
through, knowing that you still are strong and you made it and you can do it.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
think this was a good one.
Yeah.
A good one. We
Damn,
have.
I ain't want to cry.
I was going to. I stopped myself because. No, I'm just playing. See, look.
That's
But
why I'm traumatized now. Let me stop.
yeah. That was a really good one. I
Well,
feel like I was given love and turmoil, and I feel like my sisters think that I was the favorite. You know what I mean? Like they always say that. They think that I was the favorite. And I'm like, okay, but both of y'all had left. You know what I mean? Like, and I was at home. It was just me and my mother. Like y'all think it was puppies and kittens the whole time? Cause it wasn't. Like I literally had to have the toughest skin. And and now I have a wall, even in relationships. That's probably why I'm not in a relationship now. I have the toughest wall because I'm like, any side comment or anything, I'm like, so that's what we're doing. Oh, okay, you can get the like, you know what I mean? Like, I literally don't take from anyone, and that's a problem. Even I don't know. It is what it is.
well, we're working on it. And the
Yes.
point of it is to pinpoint what the problems are, work on them, and be better.
Hmm.
Because once you know, ain't no taking it back. You can't act like you don't know no more.
Once you know better, you do better.
Purr. Is that what she said? Is that how y'all youngins say it? Oh, no, I'm saying.
I'm
Three
about
R's.
to say, look, wow.
That's
Please
how
And
cut.
two
thank
years
y'all
old.
so much for tuning in.
Please cut that out. Okay.
No, it's there. It's fucking there.
Ah, no. Oh
Exclusively on
my
you.
god. Please
Well, we
don't.
hope that we have given y'all some type of insight on, looking for your childhood traumas. A lot of your childhood traumas are based on the triggers. If you have these triggers and you're like, oh, I hate this, I hate that, look into
Yeah.
yourself and write stuff down. Be better. Um, that's all we have for you guys today. We will see y'all next week, and we hope y'all tune in as we sit at the table as a family and discuss a brand new topic. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.